Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today is Carol Ann Cooper. How are you, Carol Ann?
I'm good. I'm tired and
Tired?
as I was saying just now, and it's all just part of where I'm at right now. And otherwise, I'm good. Yeah, happy to be here. It's like, yeah,
Awesome. Glad you are here. Glad you made it.
yeah.
So the topic today is positioning yourself for your breakthrough, tips and strategies to unlock your potential. Whether you are a student or professional or an entrepreneur, learning how to position yourself for your breakthrough in life. In this video, we will explore the tips and strategies and to help you achieve the success and unlock your potential. Be sure to watch till the end of the video and let's go to the point. Carol Ann, you chose this topic, and please, can you tell the audience why you chose the topic?
I love the wording that I saw to start with was how to be able to position yourself.
I know your topic got changed. I know your topic got changed.
And I absolutely, so I'm just going to say where I was at to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, how to be able to position yourself for your breakthrough in life. And that was what spoke to me. And it's all about this positioning yourself. That's the key phrase. And as you said, position yourself for your breakthrough. So how do you position yourself for this breakthrough? What does it mean? Position yourself. Well, position yourself means where are you situated? You're sort of occupying a certain place, but there is actually more to it than that. And it's really about being ready to receive what is coming through to you. And so I just thought, I'm ready for a breakthrough. I attended a really deep healing session at the weekend, and I say that's why I'm a bit tired, letting all of that integrate through. But this positioning yourself, you ask for a breakthrough. How can you position yourself? What does it mean? I just thought, okay, am I in a position to receive the breakthrough? Am I in a position for it to come to me? What does it mean? So all of that started sort of going around in my head. So it felt very pertinent to where I'm at right now. You know, I'm asking for a breakthrough. Have I positioned myself? So what did you think when you saw it, Nonsa?
Have you actually positioned yourself for your breakthrough?
That's a good question. Have I? No.
Yeah, I think it's a very good topic to position yourself for a breakthrough. I love it because you say you had this event and the idea came up about the topic. That means something good came out of this event. And I think you have to clear positioning yourself for your breakthrough. It means you have to be clear of your goals and objectives, and also have a clear picture of what do you really want to achieve? What do you want to achieve and how you will do it? And the how you are going to do it, I'm not talking about, it's like when you are clear of something, you're writing step by step. And also the how is having a system, like a marketing system, or create your habit system, your good habit system, create a system that can help you to get rid of bad habit. And also, if you're somebody who is has a business, you research your competitors. Even if you're working for somebody else, you still have to do the same in order to take the company to the next level. Research your competitors and find out what they're doing to be ahead of you, and also strengthen your skills. And once you strengthen your skills, develop your skills, knowing that, of course, you want to win, but life is not about competition. It's about you reaching where you need to be. Of course, you're competing with your competitors, but we don't want you to be caught up in this competition thing where you end up competing with people instead of learning from them. And also monitor trends in your industry to stay ahead of competition. The news, you just watch the news, what's going on, and become an expert in your field. Do your work properly, go above and beyond. And then in the breakthrough, then it will come, because if you're positioning yourself to for miracles, miracles will find you. So there will be miracles there. What do you think, Carol Ann?
Yeah, you're saying about becoming an expert in your field. It's about expanding your abilities, but it's also letting go of any limitations that you have, because it's only your thoughts that hold you in a place. So it's recognizing where you're limiting yourself. So what does it mean to become an expert in your field? How would you know you're an expert? What makes an expert an expert? I think that's a whole nother discussion there. To become an expert, you need to just keep working in your field, finding out, as you were saying, what's the latest trends. Have you trained in the latest technology within your field? Are there any more teachings that are coming out that you need to make yourself aware of? And also keep practicing the skills that you've learned so that they become second nature. When I first started training in Brain Gym, which is part of educational kinesiology, and Brain Gym are activities that help take away the stress of learning and help you just find a new perspective on things. I practiced them every day when I first learned them. And there's 26 Brain Gym activities. And I would literally go through them and practice them. And so I got to know them, how they could, what they could do for me. And so that my whole body and my being was fully aware of what their potential was. And then all the processes that we did, I was constantly practicing them on myself, and all the other trainings that I did then to become an educational kinesiologist, all the processes we learned, the other activities, I was constantly practicing them. So they are now part of me, and I just find myself using them without conscious thought. I just find myself using, oh, let me use that one, let me do that one. They become second nature. So it is about really diving into what you've trained in, that any thoughts that you have that you can't do something, that's where you need looking. You really need to look at that. What is it you're telling yourself that you can't do, or that feels impossible or seems impossible? Because that's where your breakthrough will be. Because a breakthrough is just going through something that you feel is impossible, something that hasn't yet happened for you. Well, if you continue to do the same thing every time, and then you get to the same point every time, there must be something you're missing. There must be an action that maybe you're putting off doing that you need to do. And you're doing all the ones that you're comfortable with because you're in a beautiful, comfortable comfort zone of, right, I can do this and I can do that. That feels comfortable. But what actually are you putting off doing? Maybe that's an action that you need to take, because to have a breakthrough, it's not just about you sitting and waiting for something to happen, waiting for someone else to do it for you. You need to take action as well. You need to be prepared to take action that maybe you haven't been comfortable doing before. So it just shifts you out of your comfort zone. Are you in a comfort zone that everybody is keeping you in because they're happy? You're there. That's where they see you. And they're comfortable because they know where you are, how you work, who you are, how you're being, and they can predict how you're going to behave. So is the whole of your environment and the people that you're with, is it all comfortable? Because I know for me, I think I've certainly identified I am in a comfortable place. It's become too comfortable. And there are actions that I'm putting off doing that I know will have me have a breakthrough. So it's addressing what is it that is stopping me. So what is stopping you? What is that action? It might just be one action that you're putting off doing, that's niggling away at you. It's always there. Pick it up. What's it going to take for you to do it today? What is it going to take? And when would now be a great time to actually pick it up and do it? So there's some thoughts there. And what do you think, Nonso? I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Maya, always do this.
You do.
I actually like it, Carol Ann, when you say just look at things, what is stopping you moving forward, and also addressing that situation and why. Find out what do you keep put off. Me, I don't like putting things off. It annoys me when I put things off and it's in my mind that I need to do. I can't stand it. I need to fix things. If things they're not working, let's say I want a breakthrough. And I feel like there is something I can't reach where I need to go. There's something that is holding me back. Instead of keep going, I actually stop and take a breath. And I stop for the day, I said before, or I stop not the whole day, maybe a few hours. I stop and pray. And just to find out whether is there, just to check in with myself, because sometimes when I was having a problem, Carol Ann, before, when I was looking for a house, couldn't find a house that I want. So you sort of said, is there anything that is actually blocking you finding the house? Mm. So then when I got home, after finishing life, to think about it, like you were saying, like maybe ancestral thing, the blockage and stuff. So I had a thought about it, and I was like, I've never been in a situation like this before. From the day I was born, my family could struggle with other things, but a home is something that was always provided for us. I've never been like stay without a home. So it was then where I had to actually thank God and say, you know what, God, I appreciate everything that you have done for me. And I appreciate for every mountain that you pull me through. But I think now it's time that you've made your point. it's time that you help me to actually find a home, because like everyone kept saying, you need to move away from the city where you are living. Maybe you can find a home. I was like, no, my home is here. So, but in the end, when I stopped like worrying, you know, like you stop, like everyone has, when you have problems, everyone has ideas, how things should be done. So when I actually shut everybody up and shut myself up, and that's when I had a phone call with the guy from Norway saying, oh, Nomsa, that house that you wanted is still available. Would you like to come? The moving date. I was like, but we've not done any paperwork. Why are you giving me moving date? I'm talking to myself now. I'm saying, this guy is calling me from Norway, is giving me moving date if I want the house, sign the signature if you want the house, but he's not done any credit check or anything. Is this? So that's when I actually realized I took your advice and said, God, you've made a point now. So can we just move on from this? Because it was like I was listening to everybody and start like worrying. But then when I actually stopped worrying, within a week, the house was there. And the guy, he shocked me, and I was like, you still need to do some credit check. And I was like, actually, he's actually asking me to move in and sign all the signature and pay the money without doing all this research. And I was like, so mentally, I was blocking myself.
Yes.
So sometimes, so mentally, I was blocking myself because at the moment, God had put me there with the kids for my children to spend time with their grandfather. But me, I was focusing on other things. I haven't got a home. And until you said, can you focus on, is there anything mentally blockade? Because I was going to view the house. I'll see the house that I like, I'll go home, and nothing will happen. I go and view the house and nothing will happen. Somebody just take the house. I was like, when is mine gonna come? Why? So until you say that, that's when I actually paid attention. I was like, I've never been in this situation. I've gone through challenges, but I have never, ever gone through home challenge. So, and I was like, to God, you've made a point right now. So can we move on now? And when I actually accepted the problem and I accepted it, like whatever you want to provide for me, if the house that I'm looking for is not for you, he knew, because in my heart, I wanted to live in town, in like where I lived before. Where I lived, it was 10 minutes to town. But then before I lived 2 minutes from town, but now I'm back living 2 minutes from town. That's what I wanted. So the breakthrough just happened. So when it happened, I got confused. I was like, this breakthrough happens. He's meant to do the credit check. He's meant to do this, but he didn't do all those things. He was like, here's the moving date. You're meant to move in on the 20th, but the money we sign everything that you're moving in. Like he gave me like 1 week for free to move in and have a freedom. And then it was like, but the house is going to start on this day. I was like, oh, that's how miracles happened. So how I imagine my life. But at the time, Carol, and honestly, when I left, my children's grandfather had a stroke. He's never the same. When we left his home, he's never the same now. I got a phone call yesterday, message saying they were saying he's going to a care home. And now I'm looking at back, because we stayed with him for 7 months. And the kids, he was like spoiling the kids, spoiling me. We go to town and do all these things, but we didn't know that we were put there to actually spend every moment with him. And even I went to the hospital the other day, he hasn't got a phone. So I was like, what's going on? Why don't you have a phone? And they're telling me, they've been ringing 3 to actually pay his bill. 3 is refusing because of private and confidentiality. They need to we have some paperwork in place. And I was like, you don't need some paperwork in place. I've been sorting his life out without you guys. The guy, let him ring 3. Ring the phone with him, ring the network, whatever you sort out to ring. So it took me 2 minutes to actually pay his bill. And then his family go, but we've been doing this for like weeks and weeks. And I was like, no, when you sort out problems, you sort out problems with him. You just say he hasn't got capacity to speak, because the paperwork, the solicitors are sorting out the paperwork, so there will be one person sorting out his problem, but at the moment it's not been sorted out. So I was like, till then, when you're making a phone calls, it's easy with him. And they were like, it's the breakthrough. And I was like, it's not the breakthrough, it's a common sense.
Yeah.
So back to the topic. So sometimes...
But actually, you've hit the nail on the head there, really, because it's about your mindset.
Yeah.
It's about having it sorted in your head.
Yeah.
Not having certain expectations as to how this breakthrough is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's being open to possibility.
Yeah.
And how can you make it work?
Yeah.
You know, and the learning that is there for you in that moment. So it's all what you've been saying is all relevant, you know?
Yeah, because I finished church and I was like, I meant to go home and get everyone, and then we'll go and see Granddad. So I was like, I'm just gonna go because it's 2 minutes from my church. I'm just gonna go hang out with him. So then I get to the hospital, he's sleeping. So I just sit there for half an hour until he wakes up. So I'm like, where's your phone? He's like, I'm confused. I don't know where's the phone. So I was like, they need to sort it out. So I was like, they need him. That's where the blockage is.
Yes. Yeah.
So even with the bank, so I was like, even with the bank, when I'm sorting out his bank account, he has to be there. But the bank, all they have to do is, do you allow your daughter-in-law to speak to us? And he just says yes.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a common sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that easy.
Yeah.
That easy.
So it's
and I think sometimes people make it more complicated.
Yeah.
A breakthrough is that easy.
Yeah. And they got annoyed, the family. They were like, Nomsa, you don't understand. We've been trying to sort this for 2 months. I was like, why didn't you tell me? I thought he didn't have a phone because he doesn't want to have a phone. I was like, okay. So I was like, that's how I've been sorting things out with him. He has to be on your side. Like, just ask the question, ask him to get on the phone. And then when he speaks, they ask him his date of birth, his name, and then they ask the permission. He says yes, and then you're good to go.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So well done. Well done.
It was so funny. It was so funny because at first he was like, I don't want to talk on the phone. I've been waiting for my phone for a long time. So I had to, leave him alone. And then I went back again after 2 minutes and I was like, do you want to speak again? Do you want me to ring them? And he was like, go on then. And then when I finished, his daughter goes, Nomsa, I don't understand. How did you sort it out? I was like, it's common sense anyway.
Okay, it got sorted. That's
so I think the breakthrough, like Carol Ann, what you're saying is you have to have the mindset, and also because everything is energy. Bob Proctor always spoke about the energy. It's the universe, everything. God is the energy. When God gives you blessings, sometimes how we thought the path is gonna go is not the way. But then if you are somebody who gives up, you will give up because you don't understand. You're like, I don't understand and I don't want to go on. But maybe he wants you to go on so that you can actually find that breakthrough. And you're like, I'm giving up. I'm not getting anywhere. So I think it is very, very important to actually have a good mindset. It's very, very important to actually have a system in place how you're gonna do fix things, or if there's something that needs to be fixed. Like you went to an event for how long? That whole night?
It was 11:30 till 4:15. So 11:30 at night for me till 4:15 the next morning.
That was very intense.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was
it's just the keep doing. It's like you're not just that time I was sleeping, but you were figuring out your life.
Yeah.
So that's what the success is about. When everybody else is sleeping, somebody else is doing the doing.
And it's actually being open to the guidance and the opportunities that arise, because I've seen this opportunity quite a few times in the past, and I've ignored it, even though I thought, oh, yeah, that sounds like something I could do with doing. And I've left it.
I do that.
And I
sometimes.
think I remember seeing it last year actually as well, and just went, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'd like to do that. And I haven't, but something has changed. And I saw it last week, and something went, do it. And I was like, okay. So again, I think it's all the inner work that I've been doing that allowed me to get to that position where I was ready to take that opportunity, the next opportunity that will have me have a breakthrough in, something that's just a constant niggle that I keep coming up against all the time. And no matter which way I turn or what I do, I seem to keep coming back to this point. And, who knows where this can take me. And I'm just interested and intrigued, because it's for light workers. And it is very much a case, there are many light workers on this planet who are asleep, who are struggling. And it's time for waking up. It is that wake up call is what's happening right now around the planet. There's a big awakening happening, and light workers are here to help and assist with that awakening. So if they don't wake up, no one else is going to wake up. You know what I mean? And so interesting. That's why I was today going, I need some wake up medicine, because I was sleeping after the session from the weekend. But I can feel it clearing through, and there's a waking up that's happening. So positioning yourself in as much as in your mind, with your attitude and with your actions. So in my mind, it's like I knew I needed to do something that I haven't done yet. My attitude became that, okay, I'm going to do this. Let's do it. And my action was, I did. It wasn't just a case of, yes, I'm thinking I'm going to do it. I took action and did it. Made a decision, went boom. And then I actually stayed up, because I could have left it and gone, okay, I'll listen to the replay. But for me, there's something powerful. I won't say more powerful. It's really powerful to be live on a call. A replay has power in itself. It is powerful. But being there was over 2,000 people on this call. It's a huge calling. And for me, that was, tremendous to be a part of that recording, in a sense, And so to actually put myself in that position where I was live on the call during that webinar. So again, I positioned myself, so I stayed awake, I stayed up and made sure that I was there. And yeah, I slept most of the next day to make up for it. And this is where, you position yourself such that you can access what it is that you need to access. And I read something today where they were talking about some of the things that happen, that talked about in the Bible. And one of the things is the the fishermen were guided and they needed to position themselves on the right side of the boat to get the fish. You know, if they were on the other side, they wouldn't have got it. So it is about listening to the guidance and positioning yourself so that you can have a breakthrough where what it is you're after is actually there.
I'm intrigued about the fishermen. I've been watching the movie about about the same story. Yeah, I was actually watching the movie about the same story, and I think was it yesterday or today? I was thinking about the story, the fisherman Simon, where when he lost the baby, his wife miscarried the baby, he got really angry with Jesus, really, really angry. It was like, I am so annoyed at him. He's with me. He keeps giving miracles in front of me. But why am I suffering? I'm annoyed with him. But then Jesus, the other way around, he tells the other disciples that without him, the mission cannot be complete. He needs to complete the mission. So then his brother goes and gets him. And then he comes, they feed the 2,000, they feed people with bread and fish. And then when he's finished, he goes, and then Jesus says, I'm not coming with you. And they go on the boat, and then now the storm, Jesus creates the storm deliberately, and then he's walking in the water, he's walking on the water, and then they're like, who is that? The disciples are on the boat trying, and they're like, but we are not getting anywhere. We are just in one place. And Jesus calls Simon. He goes, get out of that boat. And Simon is at first, they don't believe it's him. And then he gets out. He's so angry, so annoyed. And Jesus goes, do you trust me? And he's like, yes, I do. He goes, now he's bursting into tears because the anger. And Jesus, he goes, that is part of that's part of the journey when it comes to life. If things were easy, if you were to accomplish everything just like that, so how would my work be noticed by people? My work is done through a miracle. So like he's giving me a hug and he's like, don't let me go, and the pain is gone. So I was watching that story. Yeah, in the Bible, I was like thinking about this story, and I was like, this is how you actually find your breakthrough, by trusting you, your abilities, and trusting your journey, and trusting your beliefs without doubting.
Absolutely. So again, it's in your words as well. So positioning yourself with your words. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to others? You know, I use constantly saying, oh, well, this hasn't happened, or I can't do this, or, you know, constantly putting yourself in a place where it actually has no chance of happening. Or are you shifting your words? Are you saying, well, I am positioning myself. I am working towards it. I am ready for it. I'm open for receiving. And actually, are you open for receiving? That's another question. Again, look at your words. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to others? And, you know, in your business, there's a way as well, but positioning yourself with your focus. Who are you focused on? Are you focused on yourself, or are you focused on your clients, your target audience? Because if you're focused on yourself, then they'll just go away. If you're focused on them, what are their needs and how can you reach them and support them, then you will connect. That's where your breakthrough is. So who are you focused on? What are you focusing on? So again, there's a lot of ways you can position yourself. And then another one, which is something I really need to work on, which I know I do, and I'm working on it, if you know what I mean. And that's positioning myself through the way I follow up, because I'm not very good at following up. You know, I have people that do my programs, do my free writing challenge, and then I may follow up, or very often I don't, or I follow up with a message and then I don't follow up again. And that is where my big gap is, and where I could do with having a breakthrough in. So it is about doing the inner work, clearing the limiting beliefs, what's stopping me. But ultimately, to have the breakthrough, I need to take that action of following up. So my goal is that that will be just something that I then naturally do, because I've cleared everything that's in the way that has been stopping me, or that's been holding me back. And it becomes then a natural action to take, a natural conversation to have with somebody. And then, shoo, there's the breakthrough. You know? So there's steps towards it that you can take. And as you were saying at the beginning, it's, you know, be clear on, you know, on your goals. So what are the steps towards that goal? It is about little steps. What needs to happen? And be clear, well, this needs to happen, and that needs to happen, and that needs to happen before this can happen. You know, what is that breakthrough going to look like? Be clear on that. What is it going to look like? How are you going to feel? What are people going to be saying? What are you going to be saying? Where are you going to be? You know, it's really getting clear on what is the nature of that breakthrough, such that when it happens, it's like, oh, here it is. Because you've positioned yourself ready for it. You know, so there's quite a lot of things you can be doing, and even meditating on it is an action that you can do. There's lots of things. There's some other suggestions you'd like to make, so that people could do to position themselves.
I think communicating with people and the power of connection, connecting with your peers, your colleague network, I think is very, very important. I was talking to my client yesterday, so I was like, how is the communication like? And she's looking at me like, she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, do you communicate with people when you go out? What do you do? Like, when you go to the gym, what do you do? It's like, give me a picture. What happens when you go to the gym? And she's like, I just go in and do my thing and then I come out. I was like, is this an everyday thing? And she goes, yeah. So I was like, but you're from Africa. Why not talking to people? And she's like, no, I'm saying this country, no one talks to anybody. I was like, what? He was like, nobody talks to. Honestly, I've had loads of clients, they're telling me that they don't communicate. So I was like, what? How do you expect it to find out? I used to be like that. I'm not sure, maybe a little bit, because I'm curious, I'm nosy. I like to ask questions. I like to do things. But what I've realized is people, they get dressed and they go out, put earphones on, don't talk to no one until to their destination. They do what they're doing, they go back. We might as well have this artificial intelligence. Then if human beings cannot connect with other human beings, may I talk to people? It's like if I get on the train, if I sit next to somebody, I say hello to them. And if they are watching something, then I leave them alone. If they're not watching something or they're talking, they're just sitting there, I start with, it's really cold today, isn't it? And then we start the conversation. And the conversation, it ends up with, what do you do? What do you do? Where are you going? And until the end of the destination. But sometimes you find people that don't really want to communicate. Those, I leave them alone. But I think the power of communication is a very, very powerful tool to learn to communicate, because if you don't communicate, how are you going to know what happens in this world? So we might as well have this artificial intelligence be the ones that are running around if people are not communicating. So I'm asking this girl, I was like, but you are from Africa. In Africa, we talk, we say hello to people. That I was like, can you bring that back to your attitude, your mindset, where when you see, she's like, no, but in this country, when you are happy, people will think, what's wrong with you? I was like, don't worry about people. Don't worry, just be you. It doesn't matter what people think in life. You just have to learn the power of communication, because if you want that breakthrough, in order for you to actually find that breakthrough, you have to learn how to connect with people. And it requires you to actually take the step forward and greet people. And sometimes when you're saying hello to somebody, it doesn't mean you want something from that person. It simply means that you're just connecting. You're a normal being, a human being that is living, and just communicate with them, with people is very, very important. And it also opens doors. When you communicate when you learn to communicating with people, it opens doors, because there are some things that sometimes, like, you'll find, like, everything that we do is all, it comes through connection, connected to this person, connected to that person, connected to that person. So it all comes together. We are all connected. I've seen my children, when I meet somebody, and I'm like, oh, I know this one from this one, and I know that one from the dance. I know this one from this. So it's all the power of learning to connect with the right people and communicate with the right people and find that good connection, and just get out of that stagnation life and to find the breakthrough that you want. And also, the mindset is very, very, very important. Shifting your mindset and creating good habits that can carry you through is very, very important as well, because when you create your habits, those habits, and then build a system. How, if there's a path that you want to take, in order for you to get there, you have to have a system that is going to carry you through. Maybe it's just finding a coach, and that coach is sitting down and helping you out with things. And I find myself that the more I communicate with people, the more I find the breakthrough that I am looking for. There are some people, like online, if you have a business, be on LinkedIn, be on every social media platform, or maybe just choose one platform that to focus on, that can help you. For me, my platform is LinkedIn. Facebook, I don't really, I just find Facebook, there's more people looking to, like, coaches just want to make money. They don't have time for connecting properly, because connection, you have to have a good relationship with that person. So I find LinkedIn, I do get people that want to know what I do, and they want to help out. And they're like, do you have time? And we can have like a 10 minutes Zoom call just to get to know each other. That's what I find, that LinkedIn is more like people, they want to get to know you for business, and they want to connect with you, and they want to help you out. But Facebook is something else. But for some people, Facebook will be a good thing for them. You may find what is not working for me is working for other people. So it's just finding the social media that works well for your business. Some people is Instagram, some people is Twitter. It's all different depending with the kind of business that you do. So you just have to find that system and put yourself out there. Grant Cardone, when we were live, when he did live on his event a month ago, he actually asked us to trend, to actually post something, and his post was trending as #1. But within 2 minutes, he had disappeared. The post has disappeared, and he was like, I asked you all to put this, and that's how this world works. So if you're not out there, who is going to know about your business? He was like, let me go on Google and I'm looking for something pop up. So I get annoyed. And then I get to click on your business. Let me get annoyed. And it was like, let me go on Twitter. And I'm like, who is this person keeps popping up? So it was like people disappear within a minute. So have a system that is going to make people get annoyed and find you. There are some coaches that I get annoyed with them, like Carol Ann, when you say, you see the ad pops up. I go on Facebook, they're popping up. And then I go on LinkedIn and they're popping up. Even if I don't want to do the events, I end up clicking it. I'm like, you're annoying me. I end up clicking it and I'm like, oh, actually, that's a good event. I end up clicking it because it keeps popping up. So I get curious. I'm like, okay, let me see, what is this all about? And that's how I get to meet people, just by going on Google and you find them, they're there. On Twitter, they're there. Instagram, they just keep popping up. So, and he opened my eyes actually when he said, the world is actually different than we think. When it comes to business, you have to be out there. People need to know your name, because otherwise they'll forget. Who is Nomsa Clara? Within a second after we finish here, people will forget. So find ways for them to find you.
Yeah, totally. Communication is important. Get rid of the frogs in your throat.
Have you
What's
got
stopping
water?
you from talking? I've got some water, yeah. I've been drinking.
Need to drink.
And what you're saying, social media platforms, again, positioning yourself on the platform, which is where your target audience is most likely to be.
Yeah.
That again is positioning yourself to have a breakthrough. And I'm going, oh, maybe am I on the right platform? Because I'm on Facebook. I've left LinkedIn alone for quite a while now. Maybe I need to shift again. I don't know.
Maybe Facebook is working for you, so focus on it.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going with that.
Yeah.
And also have an awareness that there is other platforms. But it is, don't dodge around. It is about being consistent. And I think at the moment, if I can be consistent on Facebook, and then I can always go and work LinkedIn, shift and do that one as well. But it's just getting myself comfortable and more consistent with being visible on Facebook, because, doing the posts, doing the lives. But as you say, it is about showing up. You're there where people see you all the time. They get to know you. They get to know what you're talking about, what you stand for. And eventually they'll want to know a bit more. And if they're not interested, then they're not your target audience. So don't pursue them, It is about recognizing and identifying who is it that you want to work with? Who is it that you're here to work with, support and support them with their transformation and help them have a breakthrough? Because once you can identify that, then you know the language, the words that you can use. So you can speak in their language. You can position yourself, where they're more likely to be, but also asking the questions that will draw their attention and they'll answer. And you can then get into a conversation and get to know them. And as you say, it's about conversation. It's about positioning yourself on social media platform. If you're not social media, then it's out and about when you're networking. Is there a club near you? Are there groups around you that take place? go and join those groups. It's about networking. It's about going out, being with people, whether it's online or in person, so that you get to know them, you get known, and it is in the conversation. Everything happens in conversation, because until you speak with somebody, they've got no idea about you, what you're thinking, and you've got no idea about them either. And you never know who might have a solution to one of your problems.
Actually, you are saying that, Kiro, and I had an interview with a client, and as I was talking to that person, she completely gave me a business idea, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing this for my business. So I was like, I'm just gonna write it down. So it's going up to the website. And because like what you were saying, that you never know. So she actually gave me this idea, and then I went to one of the events. Somebody sent me an email, and then I'm looking at this event. It says free, and I was like, it doesn't have free events. So then I click on it, and then it took me to his events. And he gave me another ideas about gossip talk shows as well. And I was like, it's amazing when you put yourself out there and not knowing it all, but just willing to be a student and just learn. It's amazing the things that you can learn actually from people.
Yeah. And there's something that Milton Kamwendo said: it is not enough to look at the past and be satisfied. Look at the present and be impressed. Look also at what is happening and learn. And I thought, wow, yes, look at what is happening around and learn from that. What do you need to take on board? And these last 3 years have been a huge wake-up call for people in many ways, and it's a case of, well, where are you at? Position yourself. Look at yourself right now. The past is in the past. What's happened has happened. You're here right now. Take stock and acknowledge what you've done to get yourself here, and let go of things that you said, oh, I wish I'd done that and I haven't. Let it go and go, right, what is it I now need to do? This is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. And look around you. What can you learn? How are people showing up around you? Are they showing up in ways that you want them to? Or is there a niggle happening? If there's a niggle happening, then there's something for you to address. And that's where you'll have a breakthrough. Because you can't change other people. You can only change yourself. So recognize, is there a situation, a group of people or one person that you're wanting to change? It's like, oh, they still want them. They should be doing this. They should be that. Well, look to yourself.
Yep.
What should you be doing? Well, what's there for you to do? And that's where you can have your breakthrough. So again, you position yourself with how you're perceiving the way the world's showing up to you, and know that everything is happening for you and not to you. So again, it's the way you're thinking, the way you're perceiving something, your perception on it. And I remember, I don't know if I've got, Bob Proctor always used to show a book. He'd hold a book up and he'd say, right, well, what do you see? Hang on, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, now I can see.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see ooh, it's not very good. But I see. Hang on, where is it?
Why is your thing,
I don't know. It's
mine is like a clear.
I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. But anyway, can you see I've actually got writing on this side
Okay,
of
you
the
need
book.
to look at mine. Let's use mine.
Yes, use yours.
Mine is clear.
I see, yeah, just a plain black
Yeah,
on this side. What do you see, your side?
black and white.
There you go. See? Turn it round. Show us what you see. Yeah. Completely different perspective. So again, it's what side are you looking at? Position yourself. Where have you positioned yourself so that you can really see what's there to be seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I like that, Carol Anna, because what you just said is like people will see things in different opinions. We may see what we see. It doesn't mean it's right or it doesn't mean it's wrong. And the other person might see it in a different angle as well. So that's why it's important to have the right people that can actually help you to actually achieve the things that you want to achieve. And I think that is amazing. Is very, very powerful to actually, I told you before, I did mention here before that me actually, my ideas, most of the ideas, they come up when I'm talking to people. It's like I have a conversation with somebody and they mention something, then I go home, I evaluate that conversation and I'm like, let me test this out. And I find that this person is just actually giving me a clue of something that I need to do, or just something completely a good advice. And it's very, very important. I think that's why we have business coaches, that they see what we see, they see things that we don't see, and also is to save time as well. Because instead of spending time doing some research, they have already done all those research and things like that. So they just come in and help you to achieve the things that you want to achieve, as long as you are willing to do the work. Miracles happen through even God. God does miracles through people. He brings angels around you, and there are Christians people that will be like, I'm going to church, I'm a Christian, but love is not happening if it's not happening, it happens for other people, but not for me. So I'm like, what do you do actually to find this love? You can't be going to church and binding and casting and thinking you have a problem while there isn't a problem. So you just have to have a good mindset and do things differently. If how you do things is not working, do things differently. And also, when you are doing something, there are some people who are doing things and they broadcast it to their friends before even they start doing it. Sometimes a closed mouth is a blessed mouth. Sometimes tell people your breakthrough when it happens, but when you're planning it, find a professional to work with a professional. It's simple to avoid people talking you out of it. There are some people who don't achieve anything, not because they're not smart, it's because they are smart, but they get talked out by people. They are blessings. Somebody will come in and say, I don't think it's a good idea to do this. I don't think, but imagine if you have kept quiet, find somebody to help you, you go through, you just succeed. I do that. Me, when I talk about something to my family, it means it is done. By the time they talk, it means I'm done. By the time they're trying to talk me out of it, I'm done. I just tell them, oh, by the way, guys, I'm doing this. They're like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, I've already done it. So sometimes it is just finding that courage. Work on your confidence. Even if the fear is there, just go for the things that you want. To find that breakthrough, it requires you to trust your abilities, to trust your intuition, that inner child. We had a talk before. One of the speakers said, I think it was Claudia, that we do tend to get some wanting people to affirm what we want to do, what we're supposed to be doing, but we already have the answers within.
Mhm.
So trust your abilities. Trust, just find one person that you trust and just go for the things that you want to do. I talk to Carol Ann the most about my problems, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. I can tell you this. If she wants to tell me, no, Sam, you do it, maybe instead of doing that, try to do it that way. Or just she'll say something, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I go and do it. So sometimes it's nice to find those people that are not afraid to actually give you good advice, and people that want you to succeed, want you to be better. And close mouth when you're doing things and tell people when you've done it. Find these people that can help you while you're developing whatever you're developing, and then go for what you want. Because sometimes people don't fulfill their potential because they get stopped by people.
They get stopped by people, but they get also stopped by their own limitations that they put on themselves. And for me, that's when these people show up that stop you.
Limiting beliefs.
Yeah. And so I think something I'd like to leave our viewers with is I thought that to have a breakthrough, something's got to change. So there will be change. So you need to be welcome and embrace change. So if you're somebody that doesn't like change, then you're going to struggle to get a breakthrough, because something has to change in order for you to have a breakthrough. You need to be doing something different. You'll end up in a different place. Something will change. So what I've got here is not all change is necessarily progress or improvement. However, without change, it is impossible to make any progress. So something has to change. So are you willing to do what's there to be done? Are you somebody that is willing to embrace change? And if change is a bit hard, there's something there for you to work on. What needs to happen for you to embrace change? Welcome it. There's a great book you could read. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And that is all about change that happens, and those that are not willing to change with the times and actually end up going hungry, and those that are willing to change and move as things change. And they're the ones that survive and thrive. So it's a great book, little tiny, little small book, beautiful book. Who Moved My Cheese? So you have to be willing to be what you are not, and to do the things that you have hitherto told yourself you won't. If you want to have a breakthrough, if you want to have a breakthrough in your actions, and you want to have a breakthrough in your results, be willing to do something different.
So I went to church on Sunday, so they were selling books. They've been there for a long time, but these books are like £17 or £20. So I took 7 of them. Then I went and asked, how much do you want me to pay? So they asked me how much I need to pay. So I get home, I'm reading this book, and this guy is saying, have you ever tried? It was like, they were once trying to bring someone back to life for healing, and they couldn't. And then the Holy Spirit spoke to him, which was God. And God, he spoke through the Holy Spirit. And he was like, instead of been praying for hours, it's been like 5 hours. Why don't you try to praise me instead? So he said they started praising and praising, and this person came to life. So like yesterday, I'm like Sunday, I'm like, I think this week I'm not gonna pray. I'm just gonna be praising God. Honestly, I was singing and dancing at work and singing and dancing. Something happens. I was like, oh my God, sometimes it's not all about, I always pray to God, but I downloaded the song Blessed Be Your Name, and I was like, I'm just gonna sing this song, and I sent it to my family in the group, and I was like, I'm just gonna be praising today. I'm not gonna pray hard. I'm just gonna praise God for the day I was born until today. And something happened. I was like, oh my God. Sometimes there are simple things that we take for granted, huh? So sometimes, guys, you don't have to spend hours praying. You just need that praise him and tell him how wonderful, how amazing he is. And they will show you who he is. Honestly, I was so shocked. And I was like, this is amazing.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. So I just live. Sometimes if you are struggling with something, I think that is my actually ending. That sometimes you don't have to go far and pay thousands and thousands of pounds trying to find breakthrough, trying to find the best coach in the world. The best coach in the world sometimes is already there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I learned something yesterday. I read this book, and then it said this guy is telling the story that we prayed and prayed for like hours and hours. And then this voice says, instead of praying for these hours, you're all exhausted. Why don't you just praise me? And I was like, we shifted the focus and started praising, and these girls started dismissing. And I was like, really, God? How we play? So I did the same, and I was like, hey, okay.
That's a beautiful point to leave on, actually.
Yeah.
Position yourself for a breakthrough, for success.
Yeah.
It's gratitude. It's praising.
Yeah.
You know? Yes. Awesome.
So Carol Ann, we've been talking for an hour now. So can you actually tell the audience, if anyone doesn't know who you are, tell them who you are and where they can find you, please?
I'm Carol Ann. I'm the writing facilitator, and you can find me on Facebook, Carol Ann Cooper, and LinkedIn. And I also have a Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. So do come and find me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. I am Nomsa Clara, your love harmonist. So we are here at Nkosi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And please come and join us every day and support us. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and be part of the family, so that when Nomsa prays, we pray. When I'm praising God, so I'm going to praise more. So if you are part of my family, so I can say, God bless my family. So the people that follow me, they are part of Nkosi Talk Shows. They are part of Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency. And guess what? When I pray, I always put you guys in my prayers, and success for you as well. God bless and live with grace.